Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Abby and today I am back to show you my Christmas cookie recipe. I found this recipe on Pinterest several years ago. I've been making it for a long time. I used to make these cookies more frequent throughout the year, but now I typically just stick to making them around Christmas time, and I thought it'd be fun to show you how I do it. So I usually do them in two parts. Usually I bake the cookies one day and then a couple days later I ice them. So today we're going to be baking them, and this is all going to be in the same video, but today I'm going to bake them, and then tomorrow I'm going to show you how I ice and decorate them. So let me show you everything you need to bake the cookies. So first you need some flour. Now just all-purpose. This is just great value, all-purpose flour. And baking powder. What else? I have 2 eggs here, so I guess I should say the recipe, I will link the original recipe below, and then I will type out what I used today. So I am actually doubling the cookie recipe. So everything I use is double what the original recipe calls for. So I have 2 eggs out. There's 2 regular eggs, some vanilla extract. Those are just my measuring tools. I have 4 sticks of unsalted butter. And then I just have some confectioner sugar or powdered sugar. When I first read this recipe, I was like, what is confectioner sugar? But it's just powdered sugar. Same thing. So I have, you need about 3 cups. So I have like whatever's left in this bag, and then I have another bag. So that's all you need for the cookies. So I'm going to get my oven preheated. I'm going to pre-measure out some of these ingredients, and then I'll be back to show you how to put them all together. So see you in a minute. Okay, so I got some stuff pre-measured here. So in this bowl I have the flour. So in here is 5 cups of flour. And then I have, how much? 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So what you want to do, you just want to mix those 2 together. Just whisk them a little bit so it's all combined. And then we'll just leave it here and we'll use that in a couple minutes. Next I have the 2 eggs, and I have 5 teaspoons of the vanilla. So you mix those together. Hopefully the bowl doesn't overflow. Okay, I should have gotten a bigger bowl for this, but it's okay. I'm just gonna stir it slower. Alright, I ended up dumping it in a bigger bowl because it was just way too small. Okay, so I'm gonna whisk that up. Now, I'm not sure why the recipe calls for me to pour the flavoring into the eggs, but that's what it says to do, so this is how I've always done it. So I just make sure it's mixed up real well, and then we will use that in a second. Next, we're gonna go over there to my mixer and mix another thing together. So I'm gonna bring you over there in a second. Okay, so here we are over here. So in this bowl, I have the 3 cups of the powdered sugar, and the recipe says to cream your sugar and butter together. And basically that just means get them all mixed up really good and then add the other stuff. So we're gonna cream the butter and sugar. So just splash it. Sorry if it's wobbly, my cat is rubbing up against my tripod. Okay, Elsa, what are you doing? Stop it. Come on. I have that latched. I also have the 4 sticks of butter. I softened them in the microwave. You want your butter softened, but not melted. I just forgot to take them out of the fridge. If you take them out of the fridge and let them sit out overnight, they'll probably be good, but I forgot. So we're just gonna dump all that butter in there. Yes, I know it's a lot of butter, but butter makes things good. All right, now I'm just gonna mix it up. Sometimes I have to stop it and mix it really good because there's some powdered sugar on the bottom. So I just stop and mix it with the rubber spatula, and then I will put it back down and let it mix again. Okay, so here's what it looks like. You can tell the butter's pretty smooth and the sugar's fully combined. Now we're gonna add the egg and vanilla mixture. So here it is. I'm gonna dump it in, and you're just gonna mix it until it's fully combined. right, there's what that looks like. Kind of looks gross, but next we're gonna just slowly add in our flour mixture. So I probably add in like a third, let it mix, another third, let it mix, then another third, and let it mix together. You don't want to add it all in at once, because then you will have a dust storm of flour. So let's get this mixed in. Okay, so that's all mixed together. I'm gonna finish cleaning the paddle attachment and get all of it into the center of the bowl, and I'm gonna prep the counter for rolling and cutting. So I'll be back. All right, friends, so the next step is rolling out the dough. So I got some prepared here. I have my rolling pin. I like to keep some extra flour in case I need to reflour, and I just have like a spoon here because I don't want to shove my hands in the flour. I don't know why, they're clean, but that's just what I always do. I just get like a spoonful and then just like grab from the spoon as I need it. I put some flour on my rolling pin, did I say that? So basically we're just gonna like roll it out, and you wanna make it like, I think the recipe says like 1/2 inch thick. I never measured, I just kind of did it whatever felt right when I first made these. Like, just make them to however thick you want. If you make them too thin, they'll probably get a little burnt. So try to stick with a 1/2 inch, I guess. I don't know, just use your judgment. All right, so that probably looks about good for the first round. So this year, now I do have Christmassy cookie cutters. Last year, I think I did stockings, mittens, trees, and I did some Mickey and Minnie's. I have a post on my Instagram from last Christmas if you want to see what my other cookies looked like. But this year, I'm going simple. I'm just doing squares and circles. This is literally just a kid's cup, but I don't have a circle cookie cutter. So we're just gonna use the cup and squares, and I'm gonna make them be Christmassy. I'll show you how. But basically you just get a little, you know, you can flour these a little bit. It really won't stick that much. Oh, and another thing about this dough, you don't need to let it sit in the fridge. You don't need to just wait before you roll it out and use it. Just use it as soon as it's mixed up. So I'm just gonna cut some out. Okay, then I typically just pull away the extra and throw them on the pan as I go. They're not gonna spread very far at all, so you can put them pretty close together. And the dough's really, like, it's not fragile. I don't need to use a spatula to throw them on the sheet. Maybe I should, but I don't. I just use my hands. Stick them on the cookie sheet and just roll it back out again, and that's what we do. So I'm just gonna get all the dough cut into cookies, and then we will get to the baking part. All right, friends, so here are all the cookies. It made 43, so I have 15, 15, 12. I have this one random cookie I'll just cook by itself because it's not gonna fit on these trays. I might spread these out. I might take some of these off. I don't think they'll run into each other, but just in case, I'm just gonna do this. I'll just leave those sit there. They'll be fine until one of the sheets is available. But yeah, this made about 44 cookies. Yeah, so now we're gonna bake them. I don't think I mentioned, but I preheated the oven to 375. Your recipe, the link's gonna say 400. But like I've said in other videos, ovens are very different, touchy. So your oven might be different than mine. I like to do mine at a lower temperature for less minutes. I like to just keep an eye on them. The recipe says 7 to 8 minutes, but I'll probably do 6 and then check them. But let's go stick these in the oven. All right, friends, here is the finished product. I have all the cookies here cooling. Once they were done baking, I let them sit on the pan for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then I transferred them here. Once they're completely cool, I will put them in an airtight container, and I'll be back tomorrow to ice them. See ya. Hey friends, so I'm back the next day and we are about to make the icing. So I make a royal icing. A royal icing is nice because it gets hard after a while. So the icing doesn't like mush around, like it gets hard pretty quickly actually. So let me show you everything that we need. So first we need 2 pounds of powdered sugar. That's this whole entire bag is 2 pounds. The next thing you'll need is some meringue powder. I get this in like the, not like the food baking section, but the section in Walmart where you find the food coloring and like all the baking stuff. So I measured out 5 tablespoons in this container just to make it easier for us. So I didn't have to measure it out on camera. And then you need some vanilla extract. You can switch out these extracts for the cookies and the icing. You can do almond or whatever kind of extract you prefer, but I always use vanilla. So I did 3 teaspoons of vanilla. I pre-measured it out in this little cup as well, just to make it easier. And then you need about 1/2 to 3/4 cup of warm water. I just have 3/4 cup here. It doesn't really matter, it's okay if you're not exact. Okay, now the directions from the link say to mix like half the water with the extract and then dump it in, and then the other half. I just dump all of the extract right into the water. So I just dump the extract right into the water. I don't worry about doing half and then half. I just dump it straight in. You want to dump your entire bag of powdered sugar into your mixing bowl. Gotta watch, once you turn the mixer on, it gets a little cloudy. I'm gonna put my paddle. I always use the paddle attachment for mine. I feel like if you use the whisk one, that would be fine too. I'm not sure that it really makes a difference. And then I'm gonna put in the meringue powder. Again, this is 5 tablespoons. Ooh, very dusty. All right, now I'm gonna just put the mixer on low just to get these 2 ingredients combined. Whoa, see that? See that little puff? All right, so with the mixer on the lowest setting, I'm just gonna start adding the water slowly. So I'm gonna add about half and let it mix in. And then I'm just gonna pour the rest of it in. Just gonna keep mixing it like this till it gets to a thick honey-like consistency. It's almost there. All right, so I'm gonna stop it for a second and show you. I don't know if you can see on the paddle attachment, it's like just like thick. It's kind of yellowish from the extract. And then the next thing you're gonna do is put it on medium speed for 2 to 4 minutes. All right, so it's pretty much done. It took about 3-ish minutes. I'll lift this up, show you. There it is. So I'm gonna move over to the other counter and divide it up into some bowls and make some color. All right guys, so I have all the bowls, all the food coloring laid out. I'm gonna open this while I talk because it's new. I decided to just do 3 main colors, and then I have 2 accent colors I need to do. So I'm gonna do a light blue, red, and white for my main colors. And then I just need a little bit of orange for, I'm gonna do snowmen. So I need a little bit of orange for the nose and then just a little bit of black. I'm doing, on the circles, I'm doing snowmen, Santas, and snowflakes. So I need the black for like the snowman's eyes, mouth, and Santa's eyes. And then what else am I doing? For the squares, I'm gonna do presents, so I'll just probably do blue and red presents. That's what I felt like doing this year. Last year I did a lot of red and green. So I'm just changing it up a bit. So I'm gonna scoop these out. Okay, so one thing with this icing, I have this bowl covered. I just have all the white in here. I cover it because this icing gets very hard pretty quickly, so you want to keep it covered if you're not going to use it. So first I'm going to make blue. I'm just going to get I'm just going to do a little bit of the food coloring and mix it in. I want it to be a really light blue, so I'm not going to go super heavy. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is fill up the icing bags. All right guys, so I'm in the dining room now. I laid out some parchment paper. This is just the same paper I used when I baked last night. I'm just gonna lay out all the cookies. Okay, here are all the cookies laid out. I'm gonna do some figuring on how many of each kind I wanna do, and then I'm gonna get to outlining with the icing I put in the icing bags. Let's go. Oh, I should also mention I have the Santa Claus 2 on my computer. So I'm gonna be watching Santa Claus 2. I've watched 1, I have not watched 2 or 3 yet. So that's what I'm gonna be doing while I am icing. All right, friends, here are all the cookies. They're all completely outlined. And the next thing I'm gonna do is go water down some of the colored royal icing to fill in the outlines, and I'll take you in the kitchen and show you how I do that. Okay guys, so the next step is to water down the icing so I can fill in the outlines. So I'm gonna take off the tip and squirt most of the icing. I'm not gonna need any more blue to add accents, but I'm just gonna save a little bit. So typically, like, this goes in 3 phases. I outline, water down and fill, and then once the fill dries, like the filled icing dries, then I go back and add accents with like regular, the regular royal icing. I don't think I will need this, but I'm just gonna save it just in case, because you never know. Now I definitely am gonna need a little bit of red for the Santa noses. So, I mean, I could use just black, but the picture I found on Pinterest used red, and I had some red left in the bowl, so I'm just gonna pour a little bit in here and then save a little bit of the red as well. And this white, it was just some extra from the mixing bowl. And I still have a good bit in my icing bag out in the dining room, so it should be enough to do any of the accents I need to do later. So you just want to add like, there's a little piece of color. You don't want that, get out here. Okay, just like a really little bits of water at a time, because it will water down pretty quickly. Whoa. And I always make a mess. I make a mess with everything. Okay, we're gonna need some more because it's still pretty. If you can tell, it's still pretty thick. I'm just gonna keep adding more till it gets to the consistency I want, and then I will show you the right consistency. Okay, so it is the right consistency, so I'm gonna show you how you just kind of pick it up. See how it just kind of falls back in and it just melts back into itself. It doesn't stay clumpy on top. It just, after a few seconds, just disappears back into itself. So that is the perfect consistency. I'm gonna dump it into this bottle, and then I'm gonna do that with the other 2. So. All right, here we go. These are the colors I'm filling with. So these are just Wilton squeeze bottles. I don't know if you can see that. They just have like little holes in the top. These, you have to be very careful. So you're gonna notice I'm gonna be holding them like this, because I've had times where the lid just like pops off and icing spills everywhere. It could happen during this video, but I think I've kind of perfected it. You just want to hold it like this, and I will show you. I have these little like knives I use to spread it out. When you're adding the water, you want to just add a little bit at a time, because if you get it too runny, it's hard to get it back thick enough. Like, you can add more white icing into it, and if you have some of the colored left, you can add that in, but if you add more white, then you have to add more food coloring, and it just gets really complicated. So just take your time when adding the water. Just add a little bit at a time until it gets the right consistency. All right, let's go back to the dining room and keep at it. Okay, so now it's time to fill. I have these little, they're angled spatulas. So I'm gonna show you, let's just do like one of these red ones right here. So basically what you're gonna do, I always go right up against the line, the outline I did. Go right up against it for the most part. And then I just put a bunch in the middle. Like that, and for the most part, it's gonna start to spread out on its own, but then I just use this knife to get it even. Try to pop any air holes I see if I can. Sometimes I don't do that, I don't really care all that much. And then, there it is. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. All right, friends, here's the finished product. My fingers are killing me. I need a break, but they are done. It's always so worth it. Ta-da! That is it. So I probably worked on that for a couple hours. I don't honestly even know. I watched all of the Santa Claus 2 and half of the Santa Claus 3. So that'll tell you about how long I've been working. This is why I only do this once a year. It's so much fun. I totally enjoy it, but it's not something I like to do a lot because it is a lot of work. But that is it for this video. I'm just gonna go ahead and end it out here. Like I said, I will link both recipes for the cookie and the icing below. And I will also type out what I did in this video. I doubled the cookie recipe, did the single recipe for the icing, and it was just enough. With those cookies, I'm probably gonna let them sit out. It's about 3:30 right now. I'm gonna go to my dad's in about an hour, and I'm just gonna leave them sit out. They need to sit out for a while for the icing to get hard. And then I will just store them in an airtight container. Today, what's today? Today's the 21st, and they'll be totally fine. They last like probably a week or so. The icing helps keep the cookie moist. The links have so much information, so you can just read those to figure out how long they last. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys, and press that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, come find me on Instagram. I will see you guys next time, and I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. Bye.